I don't know if you've noticed, but there's been a real big shift happening with the Baltimore Ravens to where a lot more people are not only noticing, but calling out John Harbaugh needing to be held more accountable for everything that's been happening with the team. Listen to this. Cordell Woodland, who covers the Baltimore Ravens, he said the following: "This was always going to be a big year for John Harbaugh. You only get but so many chances, and he's had plenty. With a Hall of Fame quarterback and now a Hall of Fame running back next to him. Too much talent on this team for last night, the Buffalo Bills game, to keep happening. I think the spotlight has shifted from Lamar Jackson to John Harbaugh." It didn't stop there, though. Listen to this. This came from Kirk Benkert, who used to be backup quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, but now he shares his NFL expertise with all of us. He said the following: "This has to be studied. Harbaugh leads them into this too often to ignore at this point. The conservative fourth quarter coaching has to be studied." That's crazy that it's getting all of this attention. It doesn't stop there. This came from Josh Dubow. He said, "John Harbaugh has blown 17 double-digit second-half leads. That's the most by any coach since at least 1991. That's a long time. Historic right there. But this one is the one that really caught my eye. This came from Russell Street Report. And they, done had John Harbaugh's back through a lot of stuff. So when I saw this, I said, what? And they said the following: "All the talk about revenge, all the talk about settling a score, all the talk about starting fast, all the talk about winning a turnover battle, all the talk about this elite secondary and how it would allow Zach Orr to dial up simulated pressures, all the talk about improved special teams, all the talk about how Daniel Faalele has improved, all the talk about the Ravens having the most impressive roster in the AFC. It's all just talk, and talk is cheap." But it didn't stop there. They followed that up and said, "All the while, John Harbaugh stood on the sideline looking like a deer in headlights. We've seen this movie before, and so has John Harbaugh, and every time it replays, he seems paralyzed with the same fear of the same probable outcome." I said, my goodness. And this next tweet is something that made it all make sense. And this came from my guy Wyatt. He said, "I've never seen a loss, the loss against the Buffalo Bills, turn a fan base against their own team as bad as this one. This is bad, man. I have no faith in this team at all, and it seems like everyone else is kind of on board on hating the team." Now, I will say, it's not necessarily people hating the team, but just hating their actions. Hating this repeated same story of the same sequence over and over and over. The Baltimore Ravens finding creative ways to lose. The Baltimore Ravens struggling to close a game out. The Baltimore Ravens struggling to finish a team off when they have not only a lead, but a double-digit lead. They're leading by multiple scores, multiple times, but just can't seem to get the job done. Normally, from national media, we so used to, what did Lamar Jackson do now? Lamar Jackson came up short again. Lamar Jackson needs to play better. But listen to this.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Coach Harbaugh, I'm looking at Coach Harbaugh, and he has to continue to emphasize finishing. And that's something that comes from the head coach. And this just cannot, they're too talented of a team. This is their Super Bowl window. They have an opportunity to do some special things. And when I see them falling short like this, it's just an undisciplined team. They get comfortable, and they just need that head coach to continue to put that pressure on them and say, guys, you can never get comfortable. I don't care if you have a 15-point lead. You got to continue to finish. And I think that comes from the head coach.
So Rodney Harrison, a Super Bowl champion, a Hall of Fame, he called out John. This is something that we've never seen before on this scale. This is significant. But guess what? It did not stop there. Let's listen again to another Hall of Famer.
Harbaugh has been absent on the sideline the last 4 or 5 years because you can't have that number of leads and be that good of a coach and punt and be like, hey, I'm happy with punting to our defense. This is not Ed Reed. This is not my boy Ray Ray. They are just a shadow of themselves. All those first-round draft picks, 5 first-rounders in the secondary, multiple other first-round picks on the defensive line and linebackers. Like, I'm concerned about their whole defensive system, and not last night, but what I've seen the last several years. And I tried to look it up, but to me, maybe your expert information staff, I know, but around the same time that they departed with Wink Martindale, their defense has started to change. And since then, like, what's their identity been? Like, what's it been? Okay, last year they got to the passer, but like, what's it been? Turnovers. Like, if I'm Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh, I'm so excited to get this version of the Baltimore defense, because it's not a version that he's going to ever want to see. But they don't have an identity as a defense. And when you don't have an identity, that's going to dictate going forward more on fourth down.
So Cris Carter said Harbaugh's been absent on the sideline. And the thing that got me about what he said, he wasn't even just talking about this game. He said the last 4-5 years. So Cris Carter, I wish you would have spoke up a little bit sooner, but he said he's noticing a trend. He's saying this is nothing new. This is crazy. But guess what? It doesn't stop there.
The reason that they lose these games in the fourth, last year they were number 1 through 3 quarters. They were, 29th in the league in fourth quarter points. It shows me it's because of coaching style, right? You become scary. You became a college basketball coach up 20. Now you want to run offense. Offense didn't get you there. Your athletes got you there. Yeah. Right? Now you want to actually show that you can coach, and you slow down the momentum of your team, and you choke off the game.
So we even got Gilbert Arenas, and of course he's on the podcast with Skip Bayless and them, but Gilbert Arenas, the original Agent Zero, he said this is on Harbaugh. So it's crazy that when it's a conversation that a lot of us have been having for years, a long time. But now the national media is really starting to see it. People who have defended John Harbaugh for a long time, they starting to see it. Now, with John Harbaugh, am I saying fire? No, because we know it's not happening, at least not right now. But he does need to be held more accountable for his continued actions, the continued collapses, and the continued failures of the Baltimore Ravens. But it is nice to see that we ain't the only ones who can see it, but it's happening around the world. Now, the shift, it didn't just stop at John Harbaugh, because somebody who a lot of people have noticed and has gotten a lot of national media attention this week has been Daniel Faalele. Of course, there's the infamous play from the Bills game that so many people have seen, and they were like, what exactly has Faalele, what was he doing on this play? Who was he blocking? Now, it wasn't all bad for Daniel Faalele, and I don't want to act like it was, but certainly when there are those bad moments, they stick out a lot. And a lot of Ravens fans question, like, hey, is he really the best man for the job? Should he just have been continue to be given that right guard spot like that? Are we going to bring in any competition for him? And, of course, the answer for that has been no. There has been no real competition at right guard. They did draft Emory Jones, so we'll see what happens with that in the future and when he gets back. But Daniel Faalele, that's his spot to hold. But I did think that this from Shannon Sharpe and Chad Ochocinco, this was very interesting.
Hey,
you think the Ravens O-line got exposed?
Who was that right guard? That kept getting pushed in. That kept ending up.
Ed Oliver kept pushing in the backfield.
Man, that right guard, I don't know who that is, but he is the weak. That's the fish.
Yeah,
tough, man.
I mean, no disrespect, but he is the fish.
So even on Nightcap, they were calling out Daniel Faalele. And that was tough to hear, man. It really was, because it just reminds me of so many conversations that fans have been having for a long time when it's come to Daniel Faalele. That's why I always hate when people say, oh, you guys are just fans. Y'all don't know what y'all are talking about. Y'all never played in the NFL before, so you don't know anything. I hate when people say that. Like, even that whole exchange with Ryan Clark and Kyle Brandt, I'm like, no, what is that, man? I just did not like that at all. But anyway, with this, they can see it. Fans have seen it for a while and been calling it out for so long, but now national media is seeing it, and they're calling it out So a lot of stuff with the Baltimore Ravens right now, a lot of their key issues and stuff that a lot of fans have been saying for years is garnering a whole lot of attention. The regular season being back, we locked in with all Ravens, but we also locked in with Heart of the City. That's why their 2025 Vengeance hoodie is perfect, because that's what all Ravens looking to take. And so you can rep them Ravens even more than you already are. Heart of the City got your back. They're doing a sale on t-shirts right now where you can get 2 for only $30. That's for their flock apparel items. If I was you, I'd get on this ASAP. The sale will automatically be applied at checkout, so no discount code needed, just to make it easy for you. But if you're feeling like splurging a little bit, which is fine, you want to order anything else off the Heart of the City site, you can use code Ingraven for 20% off your entire order. That's code Ingraven for 20% off your entire order. So now we made it to my favorite part of the videos, which I know a lot of y'all been waiting on because you have sent a boatload of questions. My email is, it is going crazy right now. But if you want to take part in it, which I know y'all already know how to, but I just got to send a reminder, you can send an email to teamkeepitclean@gmail.com. Or for the Team Keep It Clean patrons, you can send your question in a DM directly on there. And if you would like to become one, you can go to patreon.com/Ingravenvids if you want to show the channel a little extra love and support. Shout out to my guy, John. Because John, he just became a Team Keep It Clean patron. So we appreciate you, my friend. Thank you. I wish you would have sent in a question to get us started, but it's okay. We still love you anyway, but let's get started. First question came from my guy, Bill, who's a Team Keep It Clean patron. He said, I genuinely just cannot believe what I just witnessed. I'm beyond frustrated and disappointed. Our offense was playing lights out. On the other hand, our defense was just so horrible. Josh Allen did whatever he wanted and just threw the ball everywhere on us and marched down the field with ease, man. It didn't even seem like a challenge to him. I just can't understand why we couldn't get a stop. Our safeties and corners just so bad. I know hate is a strong word, but I'm going to say it anyway. I hate Bills Mafia and I hate Josh Allen. My whole week is just blown. This game was personal, and of course, we just cannot seal the deal. Yeah, that has been a big struggle. Sealing the deal, closing it out, it's been an issue. But like we talked about at the beginning of this video, people are seeing it, that it's more of a consistent thing, and they calling it out more now than ever. Next question came from my guy Sebastian. He said, hey, Ingraven, in for a long one here. First, I want to talk about what the Ravens did right. Ran Henry as they should have. The Bills don't have great rotators on the defensive line, and that was a good game plan while using Lamar as designed. Highly efficient, minimal attempts, passer, and adjusted well to missing Ricard. I know the defense looked bad again, but the run was good enough to make that offense make Josh Allen throw 46 times, which is not how the Bills like winning games. Now the issues, the secondary. When you put yourself in a position to make a play, you need to make the play. Malachi dropped an interception on the first drive, which ended up being a Bills touchdown. Chidobe Awuzie also dropped one, albeit a tough one, that could have given our offense a short field. Plays need to be made, and we know that was a problem we had last year. We do not blitz, and personally, I like that. I want my allegedly Pro Bowl corners and safeties to play corner and safety. I want my all-pro linebacker to be in the middle of the field as he knows best, but if you can't get sacks with your front four consistently enough, that is a problem. Special teams was pitiful. Tyler Luke missed one extra point, which ended up losing us the game, but he's a rookie kicker in his first game. It's going to happen. That game should not have came down to that, and kick return coverage was bad as well. The only coaching call that I disagreed with was not going for it on 4th and 2 around your own 35 with only one first down away from icing the game. But, and a massive but, if it worked, I wouldn't be saying anything about it. Even though you have 2 top 5 players in your backfield and a great slot wired out in Zay Flowers, you should go for it. I still believe, but the secondary needs to step up, and Zach needs to be more aggressive with his blitzing and his coverage. It's week 1. Coaches aren't getting fired, players aren't getting benched, and we will be okay. So, okay, the voice of reason right there from our guy Sebastian. Now, what you said about Zach, you said he needs to be more aggressive. And yeah, the Ravens were very, very chilled. They were very, very laid back with the defense all game long. And I know you want to contain Josh Allen, but still, like, they didn't contain Josh Allen even playing soft. Next question came from 101. He said, what's up, Ingraven? Hope you and the family are doing well. Thank you for your hard work and dedication. Hey, I appreciate you, my friend. He said, I don't know what happened to my account, but I had to make another one. Now, that's out the way. My question is, where was Keaton Mitchell? No disrespect to Ali, but he can't be getting more playing time than Keaton Mitchell. Also, I'm embarrassed with our defense. If you had to go back before the Bills game and change one player or scheme, what would you choose? Thank you for your time. Oh, so step by step. I appreciate you, by the way. Keaton Mitchell was inactive. Harbaugh, he called him out. Kind of threw him under the bus a little bit, but he was inactive. He said it was a numbers game. If I had to go back before the Bills game and change one player or scheme, what would it be? I would say the situational play calling when Derrick Henry was out the game. That's what I would change. I would actually change to have him on the field more. Have Derrick Henry on the field on more third downs, even if it's a passing down. Have him out there more because just his presence presents such a big challenge for defenses. And I feel when you take him off, Justice Hill not a bad play at all. We love Justice Hill. But when you take Derrick Henry off the field, then that removes an element of the Baltimore Ravens offense from being as much of a threat as they could be. Next question came from my guy Keyonte. He said, let's not call for Harbaugh's job. Our defense needs to tighten up. This is why I have been calling for the Micah trade or a dominant defensive tackle or proven edge rusher. We need pressure. Jadeveon Clowney, anybody? He also said, Awuzie is our starter. Jaya needs to sit down. But on a positive note, minus the fumble, Henry played well. Lamar did too. Loop has to make that extra point, and we may have a different discussion. But what did you like most and on film dislike most about this game? Like most, Lamar and Derrick Henry, you said it. Super Duper Kyle, he really did his thing this game in so many different ways. What I disliked the most, the missed tackles. Roquan Smith, I think he had like 8 tackles, but the ones that he missed were rough. The ones that Marlon Humphrey missed were rough. The no pass rush whatsoever. They just could not get to Josh Allen. Josh Allen did not face any pressure. If they were trying to contain him, they did a really bad job of it because he would constantly get outside the pocket and make a throw. He was just doing it all game. So that's what I would say. Next question came from my guy Alex. He said, time to panic? Hey, how's it going? I hope all is well with you and the family. Appreciate you, Alex. He said, should we start the panic because the next couple of games are not going to be easy as we play the Browns, Lions, Chiefs, Texans, Rams. We had this game and we really needed to win as our schedule is tough and we just let the win slip out of our hands. They really did. He said, what really happens with our Ravens in the fourth quarter is some of these games when it almost feels like we start to crumble as a whole team like feta cheese. When would it stop as this just feels like another playoff game? On paper, this team should have no excuses to lose like this. Oh, they certainly don't. Not at all. He said, unfortunately, I don't see us getting over the hump. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't know anymore as I continue to see the same thing over and over and over again. If we don't do something with Harbaugh, it's going to be the same movie over and over again. What do we do moving forward? How do we break this curse? Thanks again, GOAT, for everything you do. Buckle up, as it's going to be a rough ride this season. Oh, yeah, it started off very, very rough for them Ravens the other night. What do you do about Harbaugh? Well, you can't do anything about Harbaugh, so you would have to hope that Harbaugh does something about himself.